Well, Smart 24 TV, you're watching, and this is Smart Means Business. I'm Rita Kabanyoro to drive you through what's happening around the business world in the country. We look at how Microfinance Support Center institution highlighting onto the 20 years journey of financial inclusion. This was a center that was established in August 2001 from the Rural Microfinance Support Project, which was also designed to provide a microfinance service to the rural poor in the line of the Uganda to make sure that poverty levels in the country are reduced. Now, it has carried on the objectives of the project, among which is to facilitate the access of affordable financial services. Let's have more on this story.
Microfinance Support Center was established in August 2001 from Rural Microfinance Support Project, which was designed to provide microfinance services to the rural poor in line with the Uganda Poverty Eradication Plan 1996. Upon establishment, Microfinance Support Center continued to implement the Rural Microfinance Support Project until its completion in 2008. Since then, Microfinance Support Center has carried on the objectives of the project, among which is to facilitate access to affordable financial services. During a press brief at the Uganda Media Center, Helen Masika, the Deputy Executive Director, Microfinance Support Center, highlighted the performance Microfinance Support Center for the last 20 years.
Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Microfinance Support Center, management and staff, I am pleased to announce that we have reached an exciting milestone of the 20 years of existence of financial inclusion and contribution towards Uganda's socio-economic transformation journey.
Over the last 20 years, Microfinance Support Center has delivered capacity building and cheap microcredit to qualifying Ugandans through a branch network of 12 zones, 4 satellite offices, and agents located in every district of Uganda. Primarily lending to cooperatives and agriculture sector, Microfinance Service Center gradually expanded its client base and target sectors to ensure more categories of Ugandans were included on the journey to a market-led economy.
Over the last 20 years, the Microfinance Support Center has delivered capacity building and cheap microcredit to qualifying Ugandans through a branch network of the 12 zonal offices and then satellite offices. With a combination of agents, we also work through our partner organizations to reach out to the communities. The zonal offices, the 12 zonal offices I'm talking about, they are located in Arua. We have Soroti, Moroto, Lira. Then we have a regional office in Mbale, Jinja, Kampala, Hoima, Masaka, Mbarara, Kabale, and then Kabarole.
Helen says Microfinance Support Center has extended financing to groups, micro, small and medium enterprises, and pioneered the introduction of Islamic microfinance in Uganda, with total investments amounting to 82 billion Ugandan shillings at the close of 2021.
The Microfinance Support Center extends financial services to groups, to microfinance institutions, or at times they call them MFIs. You've heard about them. They extend credit to the citizens of our country. Then we also reach out to small and medium enterprises. And here we're not looking at the big ones. We are looking at the micro, the small ones that are supporting the agricultural value chain. Then we are also supporting the VSLAs. These are Village Savings and Loan Associations. They normally have crowds of our community members. There are some community members that have decided to join associations, which at times they call VSLAs, and they're not interested in circles. Before, we used to serve circles, And then we realized the bigger part of the community that is not being served, actually, it is cocooned in the VSLAs. So we cascaded our support to the VSLAs. That's how we are able to reach many numbers in terms of women, in terms of the disabled, in terms of the youth.
In 2019, the government entrusted Microfinance Service Center with the Presidential Initiative on Job and Wealth Creation Program, EMIOG, further strengthening its mandate by absorbing more financially excluded Ugandans. Cumulatively, government through the Microfinance Support Center has invested 600 billion over the 20 years, creating employment opportunities and increasing household incomes for millions of Ugandans.
And moving further, we look at how digital migration is transforming lives around the country. But however, when Uganda was deciding to go digital, it was agreed that the local channels were supposed to be free for Ugandans, and that is when Uganda Broadcasting Corporation gave a Signet the tender to take on Ugandans to free to air. However, this, according to the owners of the media houses, well, the members of parliament say that this has not been fully achieved. Now, the ICT committee hosted numerous stakeholders in the media fraternity to make sure the concerns of the challenging related issue are resolved.
The ICT committee hosted numerous stakeholders in the media fraternity on the issues that are challenging them. Proprietors of media houses in Uganda showed their dissatisfaction on how UCC and pay TV take a lot of money. This discussion was driven from the topic of making free-to-air, indeed free-to-air. When Uganda decided to go digital, it was agreed that local channels were supposed to be free for Ugandans and that Uganda Broadcasting Corporation gave Signet the tender to take Ugandans on free-to-air. But according to the owners of the media houses, as well as the members of the parliament, they say that it was not put in place as it was agreed upon.
The Signet issue must be addressed. If it's the challenge of government, then we go back to take back the industry to analog. You will see whether I shall complain. Because analog, everybody would struggle and put content on air at their own cost. But the moment it was turned into digital and the licenses were given to platform holders, my view on signals is that free-to-air must be free-to-air. And every platform holder should be encouraged and actually commanded to carry free-to-air.
Furthermore, they expressed their concerns over high taxes levied on media houses. And yet even the pay TVs, in the interest of making money, they charge high costs. They say $3,000 per month and 100 million shillings to UCC, which is too high, and it's a risk which may take them close their businesses.
The platform holder has a kick to say yes or no, including Signet, including government itself. It can say yes and or say no. Yet you have just finished paying over 100 million shillings to UCC for a license, a one-off license, a year.
140.
140. Exactly. You have no choice. You have produced, you can't air. Because the platform holders are only 3 or 4. And because they are very limited, they control the entire market. And some of those risks are high exorbitant charges by platform holders. Because of the high cost of broadcasting, when you add in several platform holders' charges, you find that many TVs, they reach at a time when they can't broadcast anymore, and therefore they'll have no choice but to close.
However, some media house owners have asked the government why they want free airtime whenever they want to be a broadcaster, yet they should be paying for air. This, according to them, is a high level of unfairness.
This issue that that is imposed on us, called the government airtime, we look at it as high level of unfairness for government, after charging so many things through its institutions like UCC, where you have to pay 150 million for a license to operate a TV in Uganda. Then you have to pay a couple of taxes, of course, many of them through URA, and any other entities like Signet and others. After we have paid all those bills, you know, with the money which government can't even tell where we get from that money, then government comes around and say, I also need free airtime. Free airtime, moreover to a government. We are looking at this as a high level of oppression, honestly. Because if I cannot sell to the most rich man in the land, who is called the government, he needs the free things, then I'm left to sell my commodities to the poor ones.
The money that is charged is said to be known by the Uganda Communications Commission because it regulates even the money they are supposed to charge the media houses.
I cannot charge you a figure that is not approved by. It would be putting my license in jeopardy. Those are three elements just for your comfort. One, I pay in Uganda shillings, just like everybody else here. Two, my prices indeed, even if I wanted them to fluctuate, UCC would not allow that. And number three, UCC has to approve any pricing that I charge you. Number four, which I also want to add, is that if I wanted to change pricing, I would need to first seek an application from Uganda Communications Commission.
The Vice Chairman, ICT Committee, Honorable Nathan Samson Igeme Nabeta, Member of Parliament, Jinja South East, has assured Ugandans that this matter is going to be handled by helping out Signet with the money they need, which is 51 billion to cover the whole country to get free-to-air channels.
From the discussions we've had, it is very important now that we support Signet to be able to cover the whole country with Signal. Initially, they had covered 18 sites, which are not covering the whole country. So with their new budget of 51 billion, they are requesting to cover the whole country and put in some gap fillers and redundancy in the network. This will help actually solve the issue of carrying all the free-to-airs available in Uganda so that now people can actually receive them for free. I think is now the fastest solution to this problem of free-to-airs who are having issues being carried on by other carrier, by pay TV. Because according to the licensing regime of UCC, pay TVs can carry or don't carry. It is up to them. So it's not actually a mandatory. The only mandatory carrier is the only mandatory TV they can carry is UBC. So I think it is important that we put our efforts to support Signet.
Of especially TVs and also pay TVs. And now moving further, the MTN Uganda has announced a 65% of a price cut onto its daily data bundles. Now this announcement is a revision of data bundles, launching bigger bundles associated with the same existing prices. The move, according to the telecom, makes the daily data bundles the most affordable bundles, giving customers across the country MBs that are affordable at no extra cost. While addressing the media, Wim Van Putti, an MTN CEO, noted that the move is an effort by MTN to deliver value of customer across the globe and around the country.
MTN Uganda announced a revision of its daily data bundles, launching bigger data bundles at the same existing prices. This move, according to the telecom, makes the daily data bundles the most affordable bundles, giving customers more MBs at no extra cost. In a press conference held at MTN Uganda head offices, Wim Van Putte, the MTN Uganda CEO, noted that the move is a continuous effort by MTN to deliver value for customers at the most affordable pricing and continue driving customers' progress through connectivity.
In the history actually of MTN Uganda for the last 23 or 24 years that we are now operating in Uganda, the first time that we had the pleasure to announce a price cut of the mobile data bundles. The mobile data bundles, the daily bundles, that's the ones that we're talking about, which 90% of our customers are using daily bundles. To have the pleasure to announce that today we have gone live already earlier this morning with a 65% price cut on our daily mobile data.
These new offers focus on the smaller, most frequently used data bundles by customers. The repackaged daily data bundles have more MBs but maintain the existing price, giving customers more data for the same old price. For instance, at 500 shillings, customers will get 65 MBs instead of 40 MBs, while at 1,000 shillings, they will get 165 MBs instead of 100 MBs.
Shilling, you get 165 MBs. So from 100, you move now to 165. For 500 shilling, you used to get 40 MBs. Since this morning, the new prices that have been put live and gone live, for the same 500 shilling, you no longer get 40 MBs, but now you get 65 MBs. For 250 shilling, really the smallest sachet. You see those small sachets that they sell in water. Okay, this is the smallest sachet of mobile data.
To complement the customer benefit, MTN has invested significantly in optimizing and rolling out new 4G data network sites across the country to enhance positive customer experiences. A recent report from a survey carried out by a global telecom monitoring and testing firm, Rod and Swaz, in the last quarter of 2021, ranked MTN's data as the best in the country in terms of quality of user experience, as well as speed, reliability and coverage.
Last week, we have shared with you the results of the Rod and Swaz, which is an international independent organization that measures and compares the quality of the networks in different countries. And as Ali Monza, our CTIO, I think, shared with you last week, the results, MTN has been identified through measurements and drive tests and all kind of,
At the end of June 2021, MTN Uganda had 14.9 million subscribers, 8.6 million mobile money users, and 4.7 million active data users. To buy the bundles, customers can use the My MTN app or dial *150*10# and follow the prompt. The new bundles went into effect Thursday morning.
In Uganda, we have never done before. This is a first to go such an aggressive way in cutting our prices. We do believe that this will create a lot of excitement in the market, and we're looking forward to getting many new subscribers, trying out data on their phones, using the best network in town.
Very well, that is part of the good news from MTN Uganda. Now, moving further, the civil society organizations have urged the oil exploration companies onto environmental safety and also companies related with oil and petroleum. Following the signing of the final investment decision by the oil partners, the civil society coalition on oil and gas urges that the exploration companies to stick on the establishment of the environmental capacity to cater for its safety. The coalition urges that the value partners or venture partners should endeavor that the protection of the environment by use of the most modern technologies during the petrol production.
Following the signing of the final investment decision by the oil venture partners, the Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas urges all oil exploration companies to stick to the established environmental standards during the production of oil and gas. The coalition urges that the venture partners should endeavor to protect the environment by use of the most modern technologies during production. The coordinator of the coalition, James Muhindo, says the partners should use the 30-year grace period to build modern technologies used in oil exploration. A signing of the financial investment decision is that planning stage for capital-intensive projects when decisions to make major financial commitments is taken. Muhindo says such commitments should also include key environment protection guarantees, safety of communities and nature. He adds that the venture partners should stick and implement the recommendations made by the National Environment Management Authority to Impact Assessment Report.
The first step shall be making sure that they stick to all the conditions and the requirements that NEMA approved so that they can avoid destroying the environment. The second is to be open to new technologies and any other inventions that may happen over time that would help to reduce the environmental impact of the project on people and nature, so that as we go along, if there are technologies that were not in existence at the point of approving the environment and social impact assessment report, these should also be integrated by companies. And finally, they should allow third-party monitoring, especially by actors.
Diana Taremwa, the extractives officer at the Water Governance Institute, says that oil companies have developed the project quite much and demands that all developments should adhere to the government policy and translates into visible changes to the lives of the communities.
We shall continue doing our work. We shall continue to push for the sustainable exploitation of Uganda's oil and gas resources. And also, we shall continue pushing for the promotion and protection of the rights of the oil host communities as well as communities affected by other oil projects. To shed a bit of light on the issue of the oil spill contingency plan, we've had some engagements with POW, and like James said, it is ready, but we've been advising them to conduct mock exercises so that they are better prepared in case of a spill.
Mohindo says the coalition is optimistic that once the revenue collected transparently, it will lighten the taxi burden to every Ugandan and improve service delivery. However, the coalition demands the government establish a tribunal to settle disputes between the communities and the oil companies to have an equitable and fair ground for all.
Continued delay of the payment of this amount, it actually loses a lot of value. And as we have seen in some of the projects like the refinery, where people were valued in 2012 and paid in 2017 and were not given a value for the delayed compensation. We think that that is really very unfortunate. So
the announcement of the final investment decision ends a wave of negotiations between the governments of Uganda and Tanzania, as well as the oil companies and the two governments. In total, the oil project's investments are expected to total up to 10 to 15 billion US dollars, with at least 4.2 billion of the expenses going to Ugandans and the Ugandan companies, according to projections in the contract frameworks.
I used to drive so carefully.
Paul Sonko, and that brings us to the end of our business information right here for this particular time. But coming up shortly, as we return from the break, will be Jerome Paul Sonko to take you through sport. I'm Rita Cabanyoro.